Let's be honest, most creators are never going to get a brand deal. Not because they're not talented or the market is too saturated, not because brands only want to work with influencers who have huge followings, but because most creators are doing content in a way that doesn't allow brands to feel safe with them. And by that, I mean you are not creating content that assures the brand enough that they're going to get their return of investment, or at least paying you for that brand deal is going to be worth it. They scared to say yes to you. And I know it may sound harsh, but this is exactly why most creators are stuck. They keep posting, they keep hoping, they keep waiting, but nothing is actually changing. So in this video, I want to break down the real reason why most creators would never get a brand deal and what you need to do differently so that you can become the creator who does. Most creators want brand deals, but they haven't become brand deal ready. A lot of creators say they want paid partnerships. They say they want to work with brands. They want the PR. They want the inbound emails. They want to get paid for the content they're already creating. But when you actually look at their page, look at their content, and look at their habit and their positioning, it doesn't actually reflect that goal. And that is the first problem. That's where it starts. A lot of creators are simply attracted to the idea of brand deals, but they haven't fully bought the foundation to support them. Because wanting brand deals and actually being ready for them are two different things. Because a brand isn't just asking, is she posting, or how many followers does she have? They're asking, does this creator create content that matches our standards? Does her page make sense? Does she know how to communicate clearly? Does her content feel intentional? Would partnering with her make our brand look good? And can we actually trust her to deliver? And that's where most creators lose, because they're too emotionally attached to the result, but they're not operationally prepared for the opportunity. Let's move on to the next reason why some creators will never get a paid brand deal. Most creators are posting like hobby creators and not paid creators. And this is one of the biggest reasons why some creators won't get brand deals. You're still creating like a hobby creator. And hobby creators only post when they feel inspired. They disappear when life gets hard. They don't think strategically. They don't study what makes content effective. They don't think about how their page is being perceived. And they just post whatever, whenever, and just hope something sticks. But brands do not pay random energy. Brands pay creators who look intentional. They pay creators who make their content feel polished, aligned, and most importantly, useful. There has to be something useful about your content. It has to be valuable. It doesn't mean that you need to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you need expensive equipment. It doesn't mean that you need 1 million followers, but it does mean you need to stop moving so casually while expecting serious results from your content. Because if your content just says, I'm winging it, why the hell would a brand trust you with their campaign? Just think about it for a second. Reason number 3 why some creators will never see a brand deal in their life. Most creators don't understand that brands are looking for safety. A lot of creators think that brand deals are just about being pretty or aesthetic or even popular. And yes, visuals matter, presence matters, packaging matters. But one of the biggest things brands are really looking for is safety. They want to know, is your content consistent? Is your message clear? Is your audience aligned? Are you easy to understand? Are you professional? Are you someone who's reliable? And can they picture you representing their brand well? Because brands are not just paying you to create or post a video. They're paying for representation. They're paying for trust. They're paying someone who can take their message, bring it to life, and still make the brand look good in the process. And most creators fail to realize that their page is full of mixed signals. You are sending the brand mixed signals. Maybe their bio is unclear, their content has no direction, their visuals feel messy, you got way too much going on in the background, and maybe their page looks personal one day, educational the next, random, and then inactive for the next 2 weeks. Like, how you expect a brand to trust to work with you? That does not create trust. That creates confusion. And confused pages, they don't get paid. The fourth reason is that most creators over-focus on followers and under-focus on what really matters, which is positioning. So many creators think that they're not getting paid brand deals because they're too small. And that is a limited belief that keeps them stuck for way too long. Because now they're spending all of their energy chasing over numbers instead of fixing what actually matters. Follower count is not the only thing brands look at. Positioning matters, and your page should be communicating who you are, what kind of content you create, who you create content for, what kind of creator you are, and whether you are partnership ready. You can have a small following and still look brand deal ready compared to someone who has 10 times your following. Why? Because brands aren't looking at reach. They're not only looking at that. They look at fit, they look at quality, and most importantly, clarity. They look at whether your content makes sense for the campaigns that they run. A lot of creators are waiting to become bigger before they start taking themselves seriously. But the creators who actually do get the opportunities start taking themselves seriously way before the opportunities arrive. That is the shift that I want you to make. Reason 5 is that most creators are inconsistent and brands can feel that. And of course, what kind of video would it be if we didn't talk about consistency? Because consistency matters more than people want to admit. A lot of creators want to get paid, but their work ethic doesn't match that. Their work ethic doesn't match the level of opportunities they say they want. They disappear for weeks. They only post when they feel motivated. They film last minute. They don't practice. They don't improve their editing. They do not learn storytelling. They don't refine their hooks, and they don't study their content. But then they wonder why brands aren't interested. Brands are looking for creators who feel dependable. Even if you are a beginner, you can still feel dependable. You can show effort. You can show care. You can show intention. You can show growth. You can show consistency. Consistency is attractive to brands because it shows maturity. It says that you take your content seriously, that you know how to keep showing up, that you are actually building something, and that you're not just playing around online like a hobby creator. Most creators are too emotionally led in their content journey, and that emotional inconsistency shows up in their results. Most creators are still waiting to be chosen instead of positioning themselves as someone who can be undeniable. A lot of creators are walking around hoping that brands discover them. They're hoping someone emails them, someone notices them, and they're hoping that the algorithm changes their lives. But hope is not a strategy. The creators who usually start getting results stop acting passive. They position themselves better, they improve their page, they create stronger content, they learn the industry, they understand what brands actually care about, and they become more intentional. They stop asking, when will a brand choose me? And they start asking, how can I become a creator who's so hard to overlook? Those are two different, complete mindsets. Because brand deals don't just come from desire, they come from readiness, evidence, and positioning. Let's go on to reason number 7 of why some creators will never get a brand deal. Most creators are focused on looking like creators instead of actually becoming valuable creators. Some people just generally love the aesthetic of being a creator. They love the idea of brand trips, of PR, of free products, of cute campaigns, of fancy events, of soft life visuals, but they do not love what it takes to become the type of creator that brands actually invest in. They don't want to improve their communication. They don't want to study what works. They don't want to fix their page. They don't want to become more disciplined. And they don't want to hear the truth about why they are stuck. This is why a lot of creators stay in performance mode. They want the appearance of success more than the development required to create it. But the truth is, brands pay creators who are useful, not just visible, useful. Creators who can communicate, creators who can connect, creators who can deliver, and creators who understand that creating content serves a purpose. That's what separates creators who get overlooked compared to the ones that get paid. So if you're hearing this and you're like, okay, I do want brand deals and I hear what I've been doing wrong, so what steps can I take? This is what I want you to do. Know that even though you were making those mistakes in the past, the good news is that you can change that. You don't need to be perfect, you don't need a huge following, and you do not need to wait until everything looks flawless. You just need to start becoming more intentional. You need to clean up your positioning, you need to create content with more purpose, you need to improve your storytelling and your visuals, you need to show up more consistently, you need to make sure that your page makes sense, you need to stop moving like a hobby creator, you need to understand what brands actually look for, and you need to start building evidence that you are partnership ready. Because getting brand deals isn't just about being seen, it's about being seen and making sense. It's about being seen and looking ready. It's about being seen and making brands feel like working with you is a smart decision. Most creators will never get a brand deal, but that doesn't have to be you. If you're willing to be honest about where you are, fix what's not working, and start showing up like the creator you say you want to become, your results can change. Not overnight, but they can absolutely change. Because creators who get paid It's not because they're luckier. It's because they're clearer, they're more intentional, they're more prepared, and they understand that brand deals aren't just attracted by desire, they're attracted by positioning. If this video helped you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Comment below what pain point hit for you the hardest. And if you're serious about becoming the type of creator that brands actually want to pay, that's exactly the type of work I help my students with inside my mentorship. I don't just teach you how to want the result, I teach you how to become the creator who's ready for it. I've left something special for you down in the description box. Check it out. Come inside to the art world and let me help you become that paid creator you've always been wanting to be. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.